Here we go again. Second round today. I just gotta keep coming because I'm being misunderstood in every way. People just don't wanna accept the fact that I do believe that I am a Hebrew, and I do believe that I am among the real children of God, and which I do believe this God name is Yah, or at least the phrase Yah has something to do with my God. That's very important. I believe these things. Another thing that I believe is that we're gonna get control of the world again. I believe that. I really believe that, and I believe that there's a lot that is wrong as far as what we're doing today. And the reason why I'm saying this is because even when I did try to come to people with the Bible, and lots of people go through the same thing, when I read the Bible, I got a very good understanding of it. A very good understanding. And I tell you, I really understand the book. I mean, I understand the book. And I know how to put things with times and history and stuff like that. I know how to put it together. But still in all, it just say like this: I understand the book one way, and somebody else is gonna understand it another. It's just like in the New Testament, where the Jesus of the New Testament said that he did not come to earth to bring peace, but he came to bring a sword and to start a war among the households. Mothers and children would fight each other and stuff like that. That is what we are experiencing right now today. Because when I first came out of the Christian church, I started to get off into my roots, which is Hebrew. And the relationship that I had with my family immediately changed. Because I wanted to embrace my true self over who they was telling me I was. And this separation came widespread, not among my immediate family only, but also with friends and church members and all of that kind of stuff. That I was even able to keep some friends as long as I was willing to believe as they believe. But one thing I learned about the Bible is as soon as somebody get a different opinion than somebody else, it will start a war. Just like that Jesus of the New Testament said. I can meet people all the time, and I do meet people all the time, and we have the best conversations. We connect so well until the topic of religion comes up. Religion starts wars. I don't have to argue with these people. I can be their best friends until I mention religion. Who my God is compared to who their God is. What is the truth of the Bible compared to what they believe the truth of the Bible is. We have to ask ourselves, what is the truth of the Bible? Many of us says that it's the law of God. Others say it's the voice of God. And others say it's the word of God. I have a issue with that, because most people say that this Holy Bible, this King James Version Bible, it was given by God, but it was interpreted from the Hebrew. Now I challenge you to do something I did. Look into history as far as you can go since the King James Bible was written, and I want you to find one scholar who understood the original Hebrew language. Now you don't have to believe me, but I'm telling you something that's true. There is not a scholar found today that understands the original Hebrew. I see many brothers running around here trying to say that they are teaching Hebrew and want you to go to school and pay them to learn Hebrew. And I just laughed inside. I don't even say nothing to those brothers. I just laughed inside like, do you really think I'm a dummy to believe that you can teach me Hebrew when there's not one scholar on the planet today that understands the original Hebrew? So how do they interpret the Bible from the Hebrew? They guessed. They did a lot of guessing. And then when we did tell them what was going on in the book, they did not even receive a full understanding. They wrote it in the book the way they understood it, which had nothing to do with what we was telling them. Another thing, people like to say that God tells no lies. I'm not going to sit here and say that God tells lies. But that Bible will make God into a liar. Because one time he said that we shall be destroyed forever. And forever means forever. Then another verse you can find him saying, oh, well, soon he will have compassion on his children and he will save them. All of them. But then you can come back a little bit farther than that, and then you find where it says, no one will be saved except they believe in this Christ. Which one is it? Because I remember reading in the Old Testament where it says, he said he would say, to the north, let go my peoples. To the south, let go my peoples. To the east, let go my peoples. To the west, let go my peoples. And I shall not leave one behind. He said he should even break the walls of the prisons and free his children out of the prisons. But somehow, I'm supposed to believe that if I don't believe in this Christ, that I can't be saved. The Bible set my mind in too many different directions at one time, because it would have me believing something very strongly. Then I would have to go back and change the way I believe, because in the same Bible, here's God changing his mind again. No, God don't change his mind. God changed not. As a matter of fact, I remember reading in the Bible where it said in the first book, Genesis, where it said that I did all these things for you and I placed y'all upon earth, and the one thing I asked you to do is till the ground, be fruitful and multiply. Those was the rules that we get. Most people don't know to this day those are the first two commandments given to man. The first two commandments is be fruitful and multiply, means have sex and have kids, and work the grounds. So if we're supposed to be working these grounds, then why are we waiting on God to come and do what God told us to do for ourselves? That's because we got so many wannabe elders out here that's working, and a lot of y'all can't figure this out. A lot of these camps, and I've figured out a couple of them, and I'm not going to call the name for the sake that you might be up in one of those camps, and I don't want to hurt your feelings about that. But I followed the wrong way one time, and I had to realize I was duped. You must do the same thing. But these camps are running around here in their robes. Another thing the Bible condemned them. In their fancy robes and their little candle stand, an idol. These groups are running around here with all these images and all of this material junk. And then they want to tell you how you're supposed to live your life according to the Bible. But believe me, when they tell you how to read to live your life, they're going to pick and choose through the Bible the verses that they want to choose. They'll tell you it's okay to divorce, but they won't take you to Malachi, the 1st and 2nd chapter, where it says God hates divorce. They won't take you there because they want to keep their bullshit up. Just like people from the Old Testament, they won't take you to the New Testament because a lot of people want to have 8 or 9 wives, but the New Testament said a man and one wife. Which one is it? The book confuses, and because you have the understanding, don't mean that the book is not confusing for other people's, because it is. It's very, very confusing. And don't say that that's because I don't have the wisdom and I lack the knowledge, because I have the wisdom and I understand the knowledge. As a matter of fact, I remember reading in Proverbs where it said, grab onto wisdom and call her your kinswoman, except you be fooled by the strange woman which is Mary of the New Testament, and be sent off into hell. This is what the book of Proverbs says, the 7th chapter. But the book of Proverbs told us to grab onto wisdom and call her our kinswoman. So a lot of people don't understand that, because they want to keep on giving us this garbage about the man is supposed to run the world. They don't want to even speak about wisdom, because they want you to believe that there's only one God, and I do believe there's one God, but it's two in one. But they don't want to speak about the female God. That's why they refuse to talk about wisdom, our kinswoman, our mother, wisdom, mother God. How else could God look and say in Genesis chapter 1, look and say to somebody else, let us make these things? It was the male God talking to the woman God, because the male God has to create through the woman God. The male God gives commands, and the woman God makes it happen. The same way with me and my woman. I make a command and say, baby, can we have a baby? And she either says yes or no. But I cannot have a baby without her. Impossible. Unless I do this scientific thing where they got all this test tube junk going on right now, and I don't want a test tube baby. So I know there's other ways of doing things, but it don't mean it's the right way. But back to the book. You got all these peoples running around here that have spoke English all their lives. English has been incorporated into us for the last 400 or 500 years, in which all we know, and they pick up a Bible for the first 2 or 3 years, and all of a sudden they're a Hebrew scholar. Some of these people just got off of dope 6 months ago, but all of a sudden they Bible scholars. I read this book since I was a kid. I preached the gospel in a pulpit. I did. I preached that gospel. This Jesus stuff, I preached it. I preached the book from the front to the back, behind the pulpit in a Christian church. As a matter of fact, I was so good at what I was doing at the time that I got called from church to church to church to church to preach that bullshit gospel. Then I started to, y'all started to wake me up. And something overwhelming came in my spirit and say, step down and don't do it no more. I went into my mama first and I told my mama what the spirit was telling me, and she told me, maybe that's not the spirit, baby. I went to the pastor and I said, Pastor, the spirit is telling me to walk away from this. Nobody agreed with my spirit. They wanted me to be just what they had me to be. But then I walked away. And I began to learn more and more and more after I walked away from the Christian church. I began to learn more. And I couldn't stop right there walking away from the Christian church, because my spirit was telling me more, that there's more that I need to do. I still need to do more right now, but I obey my spirit. I obey my spirit over any person. I obey my spirit over any book. Then you got people who will run all day long with their scriptures. But I don't even deal with them in those scriptures no more, because I can tell those fools what's in their Bible. They don't even know it's in there, but I can tell them that it's there. I don't even show them no more. Because what they do then is go and find some kind of way to switch it up. And that's another thing the New Testament said, that in the end times the world will be squished up so bad till it's not even no good to us no more. This book is no good to us no more. It is no good to us, because all it do is keep us confused. It keeps us separated, fighting one another. One person want to believe the old, and the other one want to believe the new. It's old versus new. It's old versus new right now. Then the people who don't go with the old versus new is still something. Some churches out there do things a lot different than other churches. You can't go from one church and expect the next church to be the same, because they got two different understandings on the book. Then you can come out here, all these countries that forget that Christian junk. I'm going to come out here and be an Israelite. Now, I find 10, 15 groups of Israelites. And all of them talking about their way is the way to God. You're keeping me confused. How can I follow you people and you people don't even know what the hell you serving? You can't even get along with your fellow brother who holds the same book. Talking about everybody else going to hell but those who worship up in your camp. What makes your camp right? Because you say it is? Or because you can dress in your robes? Because you walk around with your images and your idols? That makes you better? You people out here worshiping a book. Y'all out here worshiping paper. Because it says do not make any images. None. The Holy Bible is an image. You can show it to anybody and they will tell you that's religion. The same way with a Quran. You can pick it up. You don't have to open it up. You can just show it to a person and they'll know something about religion. Oh, that's a Muslim book. You know the reason why you can show that thing and people recognize it is because it has become an idol. People love the book more than they love the God. People don't even read the doggone book and talk about how much they love it. I read it. I read it over and over and over. I read that book. I wish I don't have to do this. It's hard on me. I told my girlfriend when it was coming, I said, baby, oh, I know this is going to be a rough ride right here, but I got to obey my spirit. I said, how do I go to these people now and tell them that this is not real? I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I got to do it. But I tell you what, I don't care how many people are running around here trying to stop real knowledge. You can't stop it. You can fight it all you want. Just like the New Testament says, you're going to wrestle until your own destruction. Because I go through these books, this Facebook and stuff, and I'm reading stats and stuff, and I'm noticing that people are making a change for the better. Because people don't want to fight among each other any longer. These women don't want to hear this junk about a man as the head over the household and she better do exactly what he say so he can go and fuck her over and go fuck every other bitch over or woman over and stuff like that, and then come back and get her AIDS and every kind of other shit, and then fighting on her and all kinds of other stuff, but for some reason she's supposed to stay there and put up with that shit. These women's not going for that bullshit no more. These brothers are not going for these women games no more. Be a God-fearing man. Oh, you my husband, you supposed to do this and you supposed to do that. You gotta take care of me and all. Men are not falling for that crap no more. We know that there's a better way. We know that there's a better way and we want to find it. And we're not gonna let nobody hold us back. It's time to get in the spirit. And how can you get in the spirit if you don't want to obey your spirit? You want to give all of your glory to a book. You want to give all of your authorities to another people. You want to give all the authorities of the real creators to a fake Jesus or Yahshua or whatever you want to call them. I got news. Yahshua is more than one person, y'all. A lot more than one person. Just reading your Bible, you'll find Joshua all the way through the Bible. From the front to the back, you will find Joshua, which is Yahshua, the same name. So there was not only one person on this earth with the name Yahshua. As a matter of fact, I have an uncle named Joshua that lives to this day. Yahshua. But y'all want to make it some kind of special person. I'm not saying that God didn't send us people to save us, because he's still doing it now. I feel like I've been sent. But nobody never believed that. I believe it. Nobody can change my mind about that, because I am who I say I am. But nobody want to believe that there was more than one Yeshua of the Bible. Nobody want to believe that because they are being brainwashed and duped. For people who are trying to uphold the Bible, even though the Bible can't hold itself. There's too many holes in it. Way too many holes in it. Way too many. I mean, you can look at it either way you want. Either way you want, but if you don't look at it for what it is, then we miss it. We miss it. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And at one time, our people loved each other. Our people loved each other more than anything. And that was before we got the Bible. Because when we was in our slavery, we was not Bible people. We was not Bible people at all. When we was in our slavery, we was the closest thing. It was very, very close and was nothing able to separate us but our slave masters. But all of a sudden, we would have got the Bible. After all of this, and that was so very separated by the book. And you want to sit up and talk about you being justified, and you want to tell people how they going to hell and this, and condone your own black brother? You ain't justified. You said hell beneath. You sent from hell to do a job, and that's to tear us down. Us people who are trying to build up this world, or trying to build up our people, you are here to tear us down, you religious motherfuckers. We need to get you motherfuckers out the way before we can go any farther. Because it's you motherfuckers that's holding us back. All they got nothing to do with holding people back, oppressing people. Religion oppresses us. As a matter of fact, if you don't believe it, go to your elder right now and tell him you want to do something that ain't got nothing to do with what the elder said you're supposed to be doing, and watch how fast he'll oppress you. And tell you that you can't do something that you know you can do. You have the strength to do it, you have the power to do it, you have the money to do it, you have everything to do it with, but here this motherfucker is going to tell you what you can and can't do. Kiss my ass. Y'all better wake